Welcome to a special task for the legendary hero. Tonight's hero, the Chi 2. I've always enjoyed this tank, which comes as something of a surprise to me. I didn't do well in the Panzer IV F2 back in the day. Maybe that has to do with my playstyle. Back then, it was quite a while ago, but I was kind of spoiled by the KV-1B with its 75mm gun and fantastic armor. This tank plays more like the Panzer IV, however, and I found that it provides consistent results for me now. Maybe I've grown as a player. Regardless, tonight we have a special mission. Our goal is to achieve victory in 2 tank arcade battles, having destroyed a vehicle of 1 battle rating higher than ours. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. As we come around this corner, I know there will be an enemy, so I pre-aim the gun, and didn't even need to go into gunner mode. Instant kill. There's half the battle. Now we've just got to win the match. I gotta admit, I'm starting to become a fan of update 1.71. Special tasks in particular have really added a lot of spice to the gameplay. Sometimes I'll just be in a mood to forget the grind, forget about whatever vehicle I've been focusing on unlocking modules for, forget about just grinding out silver lions, which when you focus on it can be such a chore, but when it comes naturally as part of the gameplay, say for instance getting a load of tank kills in Tank Arcade, well then things get a lot easier, things get more exciting, and sometimes it's fun just to forget about all those things and give yourself a mission. And that's sort of what special tasks encourage you to do. They give you a reward that is better than nothing, but it's hard to grasp what you're really accomplishing with a special task until you have enough to unlock a new vehicle. And what is that guy doing? He might want to unlock a smaller vehicle soon. So maybe I just helped him out, by blowing off the turret of his tank. He didn't seem to be fitting around that corner very well, so I was just providing assistance. A field modification, if you will. No thanks are needed. Now, what was I saying? Right, special tasks, lots of fun. Not only can you unlock premium vehicles and unique rewards with them, but they give you a personal mission, something to give focus to your gameplay. And in my case, the task is to achieve Step Spider twice and win a battle. What does that mean? Well, I have to destroy a vehicle of battle ranking 1 or higher than mine, and in this mission already accomplished. And I also have to win the match. That's the more challenging aspect of the special task, which can be a little frustrating. In the last match, I did destroy several vehicles of 1 battle rating higher or greater than this little tank. The Chi 2 has a fantastically low battle rating when compared with the performance of its main gun, and especially with the performance of the tank itself, other than the armor, in Tank Arcade. In RB, this tank suffers from poor mobility, but that's certainly not the case in Arcade. And tonight's task? Win 2 matches, each time getting a kill of 1 battle rating higher than my tank. Now, I'm not going to encounter a lot of 3.7s in these matches, so that's not a problem. As I was saying, last match didn't turn out so well. Got the kills, couldn't secure the victory. This match, however, is looking very promising. I've received good teammate support, and as we push closer and closer to the enemy spawn point, I'm continuing to see this trend of good movement, red tanks going down, blue tanks moving up. And you can see just the ludicrous size comparison between this little Japanese tank, they call him medium in the game, ask an American and they might call it a light tank, if they could even fit in the crew compartment. The Japanese tanks are designed for something of a smaller body type than the average American tanker. But this M6 that's next to me is just a monster compared to my little tank. And ironically, our main gun has similar performance. So in Tank Arcade, which is the stronger tank? Well, I guess that's up to you to find out. As for me, I love the small profile of the Chinu 2, and there's just something about its square but streamlined features. It's odd. There's another tank that provides interesting results. The M24 Chaffee. Did I just make a video on that guy? Now, I must be about to die. So I took the opportunity to harvest whatever benefit I can by flying out on a Spitfire, or what turned out to be a Spitfire. And thanks to my hours and hours in Air RB, I'm able to line up the guns on this B-25 with few issues, and unlike realistic battles, it's not so much of a problem for me to linger on his tail for a while to get in those hits. And as I perform a little victory roll, the B-25 is credited to my account, and I see if I can scratch up a few more points by pestering ground targets. I fully expect to come back to a dead tank. Wouldn't be the first time, and that M24 deserves to... There we go. Teammate support. I live. He lives. Because he lives, I can derp tomorrow. Because he lives. Minengeshos. Because I know we're going spawn camping. Because I got the team support, and still I live. So you can tell I'm having fun. It's always good when everything lines up and you get good team support and nobody's harassing your flanks. You get to push and be aggressive and put to work the fantastic 75 on this tank. But since I have the points, I decided to fly out in an attacker, and even though this version of the IL-2 isn't what I would call an ideal attacker, especially since I think the belts on this are standard, so the 37mm in the wings are half high explosive and half something that's actually useful for attacking ground targets. It's not such a bother. Pop flaps, pull a tight loop, gotta love those arcade flight mechanics. And I mean, the Emperor's watching. What else could I do? It's time to be honorable. Carrying on, looking at the spawn. Now, at this point, with the state of their team, I'm not at all ashamed to hide out behind this rock, ninja style, and wait for a target to present itself. I've always given it to the enemy team that once they've pushed up to our spawn, fair and square, when the fronts have crumbled, it's only right that they have the opportunity to finish the match rapidly by continuing to annihilate anyone who's still hanging around, and we take the shot, through the front plate of the Sherman, no problem. I've actually come to enjoy those moments when my own team is losing terribly and the spawn is surrounded as an opportunity to roll out into something heavily armored, see if I can rake in a few kills. But in this match, as you can see from the replay results, we were able to rake in some kills, and there's another replay with a similar name. Let's jump into that one. On my computer I titled these replays, "Wait, what?" It always surprises me when I do well in this tank. I really shouldn't be surprised anymore. It has fantastic stats. One of which is its increased turret rotation speed that comes with this patch. Yet another fantastic improvement to the game in update 1.71. Like I was saying, I'm really starting to enjoy this update. The changes made to the game with this patch seem to all be focused toward providing a more, how do I put it, player-friendly experience? Something like that. It just boils down to being more fun. It seems like Gaijin have really picked up their stride with this update, and they've been listening to players, they've been implementing events in a way that's just more fun and less of a slog through a forced scenario. And again, I'm loving special tasks. And how cool does this Japanese tank look in the snow with its well, it's obviously not green to anybody else. I actually made this custom camo a while back. I was making a lot of camos just to make the game more engaging and fun for me again. It was during a time where I just felt like I was grinding away, pointlessly rolling out into battles, and it's almost like when I get into that mindset of here we go again, the creativity in my own strategies just disappears, my performance goes down, the game stops being fun. And so what I would do is I would take a break and pull up a few images from Google and just slap things onto tanks and make something silly and fun. And it changed the character of things, because now I felt like I was back into an adventure. A legendary adventure, if you will. I was playing this match during a live stream of The European Canadian, and if you haven't checked out his channel, I mean, if you're one of the 5 people who watches my videos and you haven't checked out The European Canadian's channel, well, if you're a fan of War Thunder, then check it out. He makes great videos on a regular basis. I don't know where he finds the time to do all of the videos that he does, because he plays the game on top of that. But The European Canadian, TEC, besides the fact that he makes great videos, he's a nice guy. I was watching one of his live streams, and he was, what was he, flying some airplane or something, and I was just kind of listening to the sound of his voice. I was grinding out these missions, and things were going well for me. I was getting excited. You'll even see some points in the video where I just kind of idle in my tank, and for once it's not me rushing to grab my baby and keep her from jumping out of her crib or running to go get her a bottle. That happens quite a bit. Sometimes I would alt-tab out of the game to go comment on the European Canadian's live stream. I'm just going to call him Anthony from now on. That's his name. Not Anthony, but Antony, like Mark Antony. I figure that's a pretty classy name. He suffers from the side effect of having a classy name, and that is having to explain it to everyone. No, not Anthony, not Amphamy, Antony. Anyway, Anthony's a great guy, and he was live streaming that night. I was popping in and out of the stream to drop some comments, make people laugh. That's what I like to do. Not that I do it with my own videos very much, but it's easier when somebody else is having a good time and you can just drop in to leave a lame pun or make some semi-historical comment on what's going on. I like how this Focke Wolf is supporting the ground fight for my Japanese tank. How cool would that be to, well, I mean, now that I think about it, maybe it's good that the Axis powers weren't very good at cooperating with each other, but it would have been a different war. Cool is probably not the right word. I get so caught up in these vehicles, one loses the historical perspective pretty rapidly. What, you mean someone who spams rockets from a Focke-Wulf at a Panther could quickly lose historical perspective? Someone who rolls around the corner in his Chinu 2 with the Legend of Zelda makeup? Yeah, my play style, the way I play the game, it's just about doing silly stuff. You gotta break the tedium of everyday life. You know, and you can start by breaking the front of a heavy tank. Maybe one of these rounds will go through, we'll see. But I do already have a kill, don't I? So no worries. As long as we win this match, it's mission complete. Yet another special task scratched off the list. In fact, in this night, I was on a roll. This would have been my third special task completed in a few hours. Speaking of a few hours, it looks like I'm running out of time to narrate this video. For me, narrating videos is something of a special task in its own right. I'm a daddy, and I live in a house full of people. So, War Thunder videos, not number one on my priority list. Maybe a little higher than they should be, but you know, they're fun. And I don't have a lot of time during the day to do anything other than look after my adorable baby. Oh, by the way, I got some stats. She's 6 months old. She just had her 6-month visit to the doctor, and her doctor is a friend of the family already, Dr. Casey. She's got some great kids too. But I was about to brag, right? I'm a daddy. So my baby girl is 15 pounds, 6.5 ounces, and she was wiggling so much on the scale that that's about as accurate a figure as we're gonna get. She feels heavy, right? I'm not exactly weak, but she makes me feel like an old man every time I pick her up. She's getting so heavy. But 15, 6.5 pounds and ounces. She's long though. She's 87th percentile for length. And why do you call a baby long? Well, I guess until they start walking, they're long. And then when they stand up, they become tall. 87th percentile for length. And then she is like 32nd percentile for weight. So she is just this elegant, tall, thin beauty of a baby girl. And you can tell it's late, right? Oh, I'm so proud of my baby girl. But I mean, what else am I gonna talk about? She's beautiful. Like this little tank, right? I'm just happy to see her every day. It's an amazing experience to be a dad. And, you know, if you can win a few matches in War Thunder, in between feeding the baby and changing diapers, encouraging your wife when she comes home from working hard so you can buy premium tanks, well, you know what? That's a pretty good life. As for you guys, I hope you enjoy yours. Have a nice night. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.